Hello everyone! Welcome back to another Owl House video. That's right, I did say I was gonna do more of these Owl House videos, and here is one right now. I was thinking about this for a couple of times since the tail end of this hiatus. I know it's killer, but just bear with me here. So we've had a lot of romances in the Owl House, surprisingly enough. We have Ida with her relationship with Raine, and of course, our favorite pairing, Lumity. And boy, has it developed a lot since season 1. However, I feel like poor King is left out here. I mean, 2 of the 3 of our misfit trio have found a love interest and had a relationship with them. I know King is kind of young and in a lot of ways is still far from more focused in finding out who he is, but I feel like there should be some room in doing so, and I feel like the perfect ideal character would be Kikimora. I know it's not ideal, and I know that right now they're in a deep phase, but I thought for this video it would be best to discuss more about their relationship, or how that relationship will develop in the same way that Amity and Luz have. Without further ado, let's begin. As I've said about Kikimora, we don't really know too much about her. In the beginning of season 1, she was very cool, calm, and collected. Sometimes she did have a tendency of poking fun at Lilith. Well, okay, doing some mean snide comments on the sly that sometimes get a little subtle and may not be read immediately. And from the way that she's kind of spiraling at the moment, it does feel like she is going through a major tailspin. She still has some sort of history about Velos that we don't know, which in my personal opinion makes her a very interesting character to learn about. I mean, why is she so entitled to work with Velos? Why is she so obsessed with him in the first place? After all, she does have some parallels with King in terms of her relationships. But she's also a very careful individual. She knows in some cases of how to pick her battles carefully. True, sometimes she comes off as brash and foolish, especially with her paranoia coming in, but she knows that if she tries to say anything to the Emperor or does anything to piss him off, she'll most likely find herself being the next person to be petrified in the petrification ceremony. Yes, our little fluffball. He was the least known character amongst the trio. I mean, we didn't know much about his backstory until season 2, but during that time he came across as a bit of a nutjob, proclaiming himself as the king of demons, and was never taken seriously a few times. But he's not without some positive qualities about him. One that I feel like is most memorable is when he gets to be a voice of reason at times, like when he called Ida out for not teaching Luz to do magic, as well as calling out Gwendolyn in her inattentive capabilities of looking after both her daughters. Soon in Echoes of the Past, we soon learn about who King really is. A small baby demon that Ida met up while hiding out from the rain, as well as being able to be very smart, though at first Ida thought of keeping him as a pet because of his animalistic behaviors. However, when King learns the truth, he goes through an existential crisis, questioning who he is and striving to learn more about himself. So far, he has his powers, and we see this mysterious figure popping around that has yet to be proven to be King's father. However, it will be interesting of how his dynamics will pair up with Kikimora's, which I will get to right about now. Okay, until we get a better idea of how old those two are, let's try to ignore the age gap for a moment, just for the sake of this alone. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be big because these two definitely seem across the line of being teenagers of two different personality. So anyway, I feel like they might meet up in the latest tile that's been released so far, Follies at the Covenhead Day Parade, which probably means that somewhere the Follies will result in Kikimora being involved here. The reason why I say that is because she is part of the Emperor's Coven and has been put into some seriously bizarre tasks like trying to find the blood at Eclipse Lake. You could sort of say she's gonna do just about anything to impress Emperor Belos, even go as far as going to a parade where the Coven heads might be, so be it. But I do feel like she may get stuck and get into an argument with King, thus resulting in King finally calling her out of her own problems and probably going to be saying like something, "Hey wacko, you really need to stop what you're doing here, and plus, you're the one working with a guy who wants to absorb all magic and nearly killed my friends," somewhere along those lines. And just once, I'd love to see of Kikimora actually crying. Like, we see her on the point that she is ready for a huge breakdown. I mean, yes, she is getting to that point now, and she is paranoid, but I do feel like if she's at that capability, I'm pretty sure she'll finally just cry and maybe have those two to have a brief moment together. And of course, I feel like it could be highlighting more of King's character. Plus, if you notice in the end credits, he has a rabbit with him, Francois, as well as the fact that, if you notice, Francois is always at King's side the majority of the time when he's in these episodes. I mean, not the majority of the time, but you do see him carry that bunny around out of all the toys he has. So it could mean that it's a foreshadowing of his relationship with Kikimora. And some of you have recalled of Ida's Requiem at the tail end, it revealed that she had two different eye colors, and she always covers one eye for reasons we have yet to understand, and hopefully has some significance to it. But I do feel like it could be, again, a foreshadowing, and I feel like they could complement each other because Kiki is very familiar with the politics, and if King it really is a king or a prince in some ways, King may find himself being able to have someone to help him through some of the political stuff, which can be a bit difficult, while at the same time I feel like King might help with Kikimora's other problems, and I feel like one of them being that maybe she doesn't have a proper hobby or doesn't know what it's like to have fun with friends, because let's just say the Emperor's Coven really is an all-exclusive club that no one has fun in, and it's practically something close to being a prison at this point. So I feel like in some ways King can help with that emotional generation deal. So I feel like they do seem like a possible couple, but these are just my thoughts. So what do you think? Who do you think should be King's ideal partner? And do you feel like there can be some possibilities and details I may be missing about Kikimora? Do a like, subscribe, and this is Dragon Videos signing off.